So Israel bracing for this potential attack, multi-day attack, according to these reports and officials by Iran and Hezbollah. Are you expecting the same degree of retaliation that we saw in April, or are we expecting something different this time around?
I think it remains a bit of an open question, but I think there is something to consider here that in April, there was a significant advanced warning from Iran that something was about to happen. That was a little bit of a diplomatic maneuver, and it was intended that the destruction would not be quite as significant as that number of missiles might have suggested. I think it would be a quite different outcome if there were not the advanced notice provided. And that may be what we face this time. And we don't know what it will be. But as you see, U.S. forces are repositioning. It's a fairly traditional response to an escalation. When there's an opportunity to maneuver a second carrier battle group into position, it does tend to send a strong signal. We happened to be in that same sort of a time window when conflict broke out in October, when the Gerald R. Ford was in position, and then the Eisenhower moved into position. When you can cover both the Red Sea and the Mediterranean, or the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf simultaneously with carriers, that offers tremendous flexibility.
What about the question mark that you put in your notes over capability that Iran has to, conduct this another large-scale attack, coordinating ballistic missiles and drones at the same time?
So it's widely known that there were certain categories of ballistic missile that Iran fired all that they had of those. It doesn't mean that there aren't others and other types and a mixture of drones that could be added as well. But I think what that battle of order looks like is a little bit unknown at this point. There's nothing that the U.S. and Israeli forces combined couldn't defend against, but the issue becomes one of calculation or miscalculation. Whenever we're playing this fine edge like this, the potential for a miscalculation is always very high.
What about this phone call that President Joe Biden and Prime Minister Netanyahu had last week? Israeli officials are calling it tense. There are some interesting accounts of that phone conversation. This pressure to reach a ceasefire, do you think the Biden administration might see it through?
Well, that's certainly their hope, but they've been working at this for some time. It's been no secret in the national security environment of the U.S. that it's believed that Netanyahu has raised a fairly aggressive posture in this war. And as a result, there has been needless civilian suffering in the eyes of many. And it didn't have to be as strong a response, but it has persisted for reasons that are important to Netanyahu internally. And there's a balance. For all his potential faults, President Biden is quite an experienced diplomat and does know how to bring forces from around the world to bear. And you see that sort of outreach happening right now, where he's communicating with other nations to try to have them participate in de-escalation.